Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to House Party 2008. Let's hear it. House Party 2008. I'm Marty Ricker along with the shooter Mike Cooper. And Mike, we have got a great card top to bottom tonight. A new era for championship wrestling.
It's a new look, a new style, but same action in this ring with the same great superstars. You're in for a real treat tonight.
It is House Party 2008 from Championship Wrestling. Sit back and get ready.
He's busted open! He's busted open, Rob! Yes, the match is over! Robbie Cassidy retains the National Heavyweight Championship as he busts open Alex Winters with the fire extinguisher.
Don't look now, Marty, but here comes the rest of the promotion.
Here comes the thugs. Brian Wayne, the disciple, Chris Richards. Oh, this is a mugging. This is nothing short of a mugging.
This isn't good.
Oh my. Robbie Cassidy getting a mud hole stomped in him. Somebody gets Detective Stabler and Benson. Wait a minute. Here comes Tony Givens.
After all he's been through, Tony's back out.
Here comes Mo Jenkins with the crutch. Here comes handsome Bo James with a broom, for heaven's sake. Here comes Commissioner Chuck Roberts. Oh! Bo James with the broom. With a straw broom to the head of the disciple. Bo James cleaning up in the ring.
Oh, you didn't go there, Marty.
Oh, wait a minute, Bo James. Oh, a broom to the nether regions of Brian Wayne. That's not good.
No, that is not. Well, maybe it is for humanity, because there may not be any little Brian.
There you go. Bo James working on Brian Wayne. Tony Givens working on Chris Richards. Mo Jenkins with the crutch. Oh my goodness. If the cameraman can get a shot of Alex Winters, his face is a crimson mask. My gosh, look at Alex Winters. His face is a crimson mask. Alex Winters has been busted wide open. John Hawkins trying to help Alex Winters as G1 and Bo James and the commissioner, the new commissioner, standing tall in the ring. But would you look at the blood? Will you look at the blood on the floor here in King Sports and the blood emanating from the forehead of Alex Winters?
He's definitely going to need some stitches.
Everybody saw January 5th, Kingsport, Tennessee, Championship Wrestling. The new era began. Big production, big lights, big setup, even bigger matches and bigger names, because now, Friday, February 8th, Bo James, you know we've got in one of the biggest matches of our careers, War Games, Kingsport, Tennessee, Civic Auditorium.
You know, I've been wrestling for almost 20 years, 18 years starting this year. You know, I've been in a lot of matches, and I've worked for a lot of promoters and a lot of promotions. I got to take my hat off first to Big Al Bass and my main man Chuck here and all these promoters that's put together some great matches. This coming week at the Kingsport National Guard Army, we got an 8-man tag warm-up. Mo Jenkins' legs hurt, but we saw Alex Winters. He's hurt. We got a match that's a warm-up for Friday, not Saturday, but Friday, the 8th of February. It's called a War Games. That means they lock us inside of a 10-foot high steel cage. That means they put us in there and it's anything goes. There's no stopping for blood. There's no stopping for injury. There's no stopping if a man's knocked out. Nothing. The only way you win is your team has to surrender. And I'm going to say this. This man right here, Robbie Cassidy, Tony Givens, they both come to me when they were very young men wanting to get in the sport of pro wrestling. And I didn't let them just say, hey, here you are, you get in the ring. I was very hard on them. I was very tough on them. I know the beatings that they can take. And I also know the beatings that I can take. And I can say this right here. We have become like a family over the years. We are the people's army because we fight for the people out there. And I will feel horrible if something bad happens to Robbie Cassidy or Tony Givens. So I'm going in this match. If you're going to hurt somebody and they're throwing the threats, I heard them screaming and hollering, throwing the threats, you come to hurt me. Because if something happens to them, I'm going to feel terrible. I'm like the big brother here. Now you're messing with my family. Now you're messing with my pride. Friday, February the 8th, I'm going to break some bones. I'm going to bust some damn heads. And we're going to start at the 17th in the Kingsport National Guard Army. And we're going to finish at the 8th. And if we win, if I if I make the disciple say he quits, that means I get John Hawkins in the cage for 5 minutes. I can whip your ass, John Hawkins, in about 38 seconds. There's no doubt in my mind that. So what am I going to do for another 4.5 minutes? And that's just stomp your head right in the ground, and then I'm going to let my buddies right here take care of you. It's went too far. We're talking about 3 years, of all kinds of stuff going on here because John Hawkins Promotions. The battle lines are drawn. Sides are picked. This is an army. You can't beat us.
Army of one. John Hawkins, don't forget. You're handcuffed to me on the 8th. I'll see you then, pretty boy.
My God. February 8th! February 8th! Oh my God! You see this right here, Robbie Cassidy? You see this? You see what you did? G1, you think you're cute? Bo James, you think you're cute? You think it's all fun and games? You think it's all fun and games? Well, the fun and games is in it. You bring this guy down from Kentucky to be our commissioner. This guy who loves you guys. This guy who you have in your pocket the whole time. You do this to us tonight. You think you're going to put us in a cage on February 8th at the Civic in Keysport. You think we're scared about that, okay? The time for jokes, the time for playing around, it's all done. You don't see any smiles on any of these guys' faces right now. February 8th, so help me on my life. Every single one of you will be left laying, and one of you, I swear to God, will have your career ended. I'm telling you now. You don't do this to JXP. You don't do this to John Hawkins. John, let me tell you something. God ain't got nothing to do with it because the Almighty ain't going to be in Kingsport on February 8th. I'm sick and I'm tired and I'm a little ticked off. This is ridiculous. I don't care about professional wrestling. I don't care about tradition anymore. You want to take tradition, you can shove it in a can. Brother, I've been to jail and I'll go back again, and you can believe that. I don't care about the people of Kingsport. I don't care about anybody. Tony Gibbons, Bo James, it doesn't matter. I'm not coming to wrestle. I'm coming to hurt somebody. You want to put me in a cage? I don't like cages. I don't like them. I don't like them. I'm not going back in one. And I'll tell you something. I'm coming. And I'm going to hurt somebody. I don't care if it's a fan. I don't care if it's a ring announcer. I don't care. I don't care if it's a mayor of Kingsport. I don't care if it's a program director. I don't care, but I hope to God, I hope to the good Lord Almighty, Bo James, that I get my hands on you and anybody else inside that cage. So the disciple says, you better believe that. It will be heard.
Fans, if you'd like to raise money for your school, club, or civic organization, and you'd like to see the excitement of championship wrestling live in your hometown, then this message is for you. High school and college athletic departments, sports teams, police and fire departments, civic groups, or any group wishing to raise money can bring the start of championship wrestling to town for a night of action and receive a portion of the receipts. Visit us at championshipwrestlingtv.com or call 423-773-5449. Dates are filling up, so call now.
There's no reason to lie.
House Party 2008. Marty Ricker, the shooter, Mike Cooper. First match is for the television championship. What a way to start House Party 2008 with a championship match. Championship Wrestling television champion Thorne will take on Mike Howitzer from Capitol Hill, of all places.
It's a great way to start a great show tonight, starting with the television champion Thorne. As always, a pleasure to watch him, as you know, or may not know, former tag team partner of mine.
Yep.
Well-deserving champion.
Hey, coming up tonight, wrestling fans in Greenville. Big card, Greenville, Tennessee. Thorne defending the television title in a four-way match against Adam York, Chris Richards, and his former tag team partner of the Blonde Bombers, Tim Baldwin. So he's got two former tag team partners, Tim Baldwin and Adam York, along with Chris Richards for the television championship tonight in Greenville. A big four-way match.
It's going to be a big challenge for the champion, but a little piece of trivia, Thorne has also been the champion since February 2006.
He is 1 month shy away from being a year-long champion in championship wrestling, and nowadays that just does not happen with the caliber of competition they face on a daily basis. But that's coming up tonight, wrestling fans. Eastview Parks and Recreation Center, Greenville, Tennessee on Bernard Avenue. Bell time, 8 o'clock. Don't forget, tonight in Greenville. Mike Howitzer from Capitol Hill. Now that is if Thorne can survive this. You know, Mike Howitzer from Capitol Hill. I don't know very much about this young man, but obviously if he's wrestling in a championship wrestling ring, he's got some skills, and that is if Thorne can retain his title here on television today. He'll defend it in that four-way tonight.
That's a big if, because if they saw fit, the Championship Wrestling Committee saw fit to give this young man a match, he must have something going on, because they don't put just anybody in the ring with Thorne.
Well, I did a little bit of research this past week on this Howitzer, and he has made a name for himself up in West Virginia. This is his Kingsport debut, but apparently he has made a name for himself up in West Virginia. There's a lot of top talent in West Virginia, so if he can make it up there, you know, he's a good competitor.
Well, a lot of their talent comes down from West Virginia. A lot. You got the greats like Eric Darkstorm comes from West Virginia. And if he's competing up there and making a name for himself with guys like that, then you know he deserves this shot.
Thorne off the ropes, catches him with a boot to the midsection, now catches him with a neck breaker, and Howitzer is down. There's a cover by referee Rob Knight. There's a 2 count, and Howitzer kicks out before that count of 3. You've got Candy outside the X Factor for Thorne. Been by his side for a long, long time, someone he can really count on. Candy on the outside. Thorne throws Howitzer off the ropes, comes in, charges, and Howitzer picks him up, dumps him over the top rope, but Thorne maintains his balance and catches him with a forearm, and there's a shoulder block. What's Thorne going to do now, Mike? He's up on the top rope, catches him off the top rope with a clothesline. There's the cover. Rob Knight down. 1, 2, kicks out before that count of 3. Just when you think you've got Thorne down, he pulls one out of his back pocket.
Well, that is also an attest to Howitzer right there, being able to kick out of that big clothesline off the top. When Thorne hits you with that nearly takes your head right off your shoulders.
Now Thorne with a side headlock. He's not going to pin him with a side headlock, but what this does, it wears down Howitzer and gives Thorne a chance to catch his breath.
That's right. A lot of people don't realize the pressure that side headlock puts on you and cuts off your air supply completely.
Once again, wrestling fans, tonight, big card, Eastview Parks and Recreation Center in Greenville. Should Thorne hold on to his championship here, he'll defend it in a four-way tonight in Greenville against Tim Baldwin, Adam York, and Chris Richards. That is granted that he holds on to the title here today on television. Thorne with the arm bar on Mike Howitzer. Once again, a West Virginia product. Wrestlers coming in from all across the country into Championship Wrestling for 2008. It's going to be a banner year for Championship Wrestling. Catches him with an elbow, and Thorne is rocked.
I'll tell you right now, my director, right here, Championship Wrestling is the place to be. It's got the best action around and the top stars.
There's a count of 2 after the running power slam by Thorne. Howitzer kicks out before the count of 3. Once again, wrestling fans, tonight in Greenville, bell time, 8 o'clock, Eastview Parks and Recreation Center on Bernard Avenue, just off Tusculum Boulevard. Great card of Championship Wrestling. There's a chop again by the television champion Thorne. Throws him off the ropes. Oh, went for a drop kick, telegraphed it, and now Howitzer went for the big elbow, missed there. Thorne back to a vertical base. Got him with the top wrist lock. And you can see the pain etched in Howitzer's face.
Well, it went to the eyes there, but you know what, Marty Ricker, you do what you have to do. This is a championship match. I'm not going to follow anybody for anything they do when the championship's on the line, because you got to do what you got to do to win that title.
There's a hard right hand to the top of the head. Now Thorne is on the mat. Mike, you've held several championships throughout your illustrious career. Everybody, there's a cover, 1-2, kick out before the count of 3. Is it harder to keep the belt or to win a belt?
To tell you the truth, it's a lot harder, honestly, to win the belt, because once you're a champion, unless the stipulations in the contract, if you think you're going to lose, all you got to do is get yourself disqualified.
There's a Thorne bomb, covers him up. 1, 2, 3. That's a count of 3. Thorne maintains the television championship. Thorne in the big four-way match tonight in Greenville, 8 o'clock, Eastview Parks and Recreation, against Adam York, Tim Baldwin, and Chris Richards. This is championship wrestling, fans.
You know what? Them boys in Greenville, Tim Baldwin, Adam York, and Chris Richards, you'll find out just like that punk did. You mess with me, you will get your ass smoked by Thorne. And even better, I guarantee all of you guys, all the people here in Kingsport, all the people that'll show up in Greenville, that is my hometown. And you boys, I guarantee you, I will walk in the television champion, and I will retain my belt and retain the longest winning streak ever in championship wrestling history. And why do I do that, you ask? It's because I can. And all the fools that step in front of me, they get their ass smoked.
Wrestling fans, it's coming to Greenville, the big four-way dance for the television championship. Wrestling fans, coming up tonight in Greenville, Tennessee, Eastview Parks and Recreation Center, bell time, 8 o'clock, the main event. It's a four-way dance for the Championship Wrestling Television Championship as the champion Thorne defends against Tim Baldwin, Adam York, and Chris Richards. Should Adam York win the match tonight, he will not be the champion due to the last time he wrestled. It was his last opportunity. The championship will be declared vacant. Adam York, tonight in Greenville.
I don't need a championship belt to come kick Thorne's ass in Greenville. They pay me a lot of money to do what I do, and I do what I do very well. So it doesn't matter if there's a championship on the line or not, because Thorne, I'm coming for you, buddy. You make me sick, you and your little Greenville people. You know what Greenville is, Marty? I did a little study on the internet. I got in, I typed in a few keys.
I'm from Greenville.
I'm keeping this in mind, okay? They herded all the ugly people in East Tennessee all into one town. This was like back in 1936, I think it was, and they called it the town of Greenville. So Greenville is the ugly people capital of Tennessee and the ugly people capital of the world. And I don't care if you're from there, because I know Thorne's from there. And Thorne, I'm coming for you, baby. In Greenville tonight, you're going to have to face the king of the Triple Crown. You're going to have to face Yorkamania.
That's tonight, wrestling fans. Greenville, Eastview Parks and Recreation Center. Don't miss it.
I'ma go get her. I ain't gonna have her long. I'ma go get her. 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 I'ma go get her.
Chris Richards gonna pick him up. What's gonna happen here? Oh, kicked him! Chris Richards has been kicked, and he slumps into the turnbuckle. Tony Givens with some life left.
That'll rearrange your dental work.
Yeah, boy. Brian Wayne and Wayne Daniels and Barbie, they're all the way back in the dressing room. Tony Givens and Nick Hammonds. Oh! A double DDT on Chris Richards. Shades of the old G1 back when Nick Hammonds was a part of that faction. And now Tony Givens and Nick Hammonds both trying to cover. We're down to one member apiece in these three teams. Tony Givens, Nick Hammonds. Slugging it. My word.
All he managed to do by smacking Tony in the face was to fire him up.
Oh, jawjacker. That's a jawjacker, and catches him with the rear stunner. Nick Hammonds down. Tony Givens goes to the top. Tony Givens up top. Tony Givens comes off, misses with the stop, and gets hit with a diamond cutter. 1, 2. Oh, Chris Richards with the save. Are you kidding me?
Well, technically, I guess it is a save, but he wasn't trying to save Tony Givens. He's just making sure that he doesn't lose the match.
Saved his own championship reign there. Or his own skin, I should say. Catches him with a stunner.
Richards is caught.
1, 2, and Nick Hammonds. Well, Nick Hammonds may have had Chris Richards pinned, but he wants Tony Givens.
He voluntarily got up.
That might come back to haunt him.
Yeah, it might.
Catches him. Oh, got him in a Japanese type sleeper. What do you call that, Mr. Wrestling?
Well,
he tapped out. He tapped out. He tapped out. Tony Givens has won the United States Tag Team Championship, I think. Does he still have to pin Chris Richards?
I think he does. I think he's going to have to.
All righty.
All right, so it is elimination.
It's not over yet.
The move he used on him kind of similar to my finishing move.
Yes, that's true. Well, we can tell you that we will have new United States Tag Team Champions because the current champions
without a shadow
are
of a
out.
doubt.
Tony Givens on top of Chris Richards with the sleeper hold.
One way or another, these titles have changed hands. And Tony's got that locked in deep. He may have him here.
Yeah. He's trying to bring the big man down. Chris Richards trying to counter with elbows. Once again, a sleeper hold. It's hard for Tony to apply this hold because of the height disadvantage, but he appears to have it locked. And now, side suplex by Chris Richards on Tony Givens.
You mentioned the disadvantage in height, but once he gets that move locked in, it becomes an advantage because it becomes harder for Richards to get out of that move.
That's very true. Well, we will have new United States Tag Team Champions. It'll either be John Hawkins Promotions or G1. Bolo on the ringside apron. Why?
You knew sooner or later he would get physically involved with this match. There was no doubt about that.
Chris Richards comes in and hits Bolo. Rolls him up. Tony's got him rolled up. Rob, get down. 1, 2. Oh! 2.5.
That was so close.
2.5. And once again, the sleeper hold applied by Tony Givens. He's got the hand on top of the head. That's a Gagne sleeper on top of the head. Vern Gagne made that version famous. And now Chris Richards about to go to Dream Street. Can Tony Givens hold on? Once again, Richards turns to his side, and now he's going to catch Tony in the choke slam. Up! No! Once again, the sleeper. Once again, Tony Givens has Chris Richards in the sleeper hold.
That's just
now
amazing.
Richards is down to one knee, Mike.
It's amazing that Tony Givens has even made it to this point, much less appears that he may actually even have this match won.
Bolo is still out. There's no one else at ringside other than Mo Jenkins.
Nick Hammonds was eliminated with a rear naked choke, and now he has a sleeper hold on Chris Richards.
He's gotten Bolo's back down. Bolo's of no hope. There's
Is he
one.
out?
If it goes down 2 more times, it's over. 2. Is it over? It's over! It's over! Tony Gibbons has done it! Tony Gibbons has won the United States Tag Team Championship! Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Oh my God!
That was a slobber knocker. Oh, wait a minute. We can't say that, can we?
No. Tony Gibbons has single-handedly won the United States Tag Team Champions. I guess technically, Tony Gibbons and Matt Stevens are the United States Tag Team Champions. It is pandemonium. The crowd has gone berserk in Kingsport, Tennessee. Are you kidding me, Mike Cooper?
No, I'm serious.
G1, once again, your United States Tag Team Champions. This is Championship Wrestling.
Wrestling fans, here in the locker room, it's House Party 2008, where Tony Gibbons basically single-handedly regained the United States Tag Team Championship. Tony?
That's right, Marty. You know, my entire life, I've loved professional wrestling. I've gave everything that I have to be in this business. Tonight, I stepped in there pretty much by myself, and I walked out victorious. Now, John Hawkins, over the last 3 years, you've made it rough to love my job. But John Hawkins, you haven't broke me. And February 8th, Friday night, 4-on-4 in the cage, War Games. I'm gonna get my chance. And John Hawkins, I will seize my chance. I will get you one-on-one in the cage, and I will kick your ass.
You want me one-on-one, Tony?
Well, you
is that what it is? Hey, you want me one-on-one? Huh?